We begin tonight with the former Grand Rapids police officer's first in-person court appearance. Christopher Schurr is charged with second-degree murder in the shooting death of Patrick Lyoya this past April. At today's preliminary hearing, multiple witnesses who were there that day, as well as law enforcement officials who've worked on the case, took the stand. 13 on your side's Andrea Flores joins us now with details. Andrea.
Juliet, court is back in session tomorrow morning, and the defense is expected to call one more witness to testify after 7 others took the stand today. Former Grand Rapids police officer Christopher Schurr sat beside his defense team Thursday in 61st District Court as the prosecution first called up one of the first officers who arrived at the scene after Patrick Lyoya was shot.
I saw a subject between 2 houses laying on face down on the ground with his arms underneath his body.
Sergeant Nicholas Cataglia says he didn't perform CPR on Lyoya and he did not see any signs of life.
We have no doubt that taser was in the area of Mr. Lyoya's hands when he was rolled over. Correct.
The second witness called to the stand was Ami Turishme, who was Lyoya's passenger in the car that morning. He says they had just dropped a friend off after hanging out the night before. He testified that they had pulled over because of a noise coming from Lyoya's car, and when Lyoya got out of the car, he noticed the officer behind them moments later. He pulled his phone out and started recording when the struggle began.
I knew something was wrong.
The defense asked questions about his friendship with Lyoya and what they were doing the night before, as well as asking if Lyoya ever tried to sell him bridge cards.
He never offered to sell you a bridge card?
No.
The third and fourth witness called to the stand live on the block where it happened. Wayne Butler says he saw nearly the entire incident, but not when Lyoya was shot. He says he believes Schurr was in control during the entire struggle, and he tried to communicate with Turishme when it started.
That's when I start yelling to the guy in the car, hey, get your guy, get your guy, get your guy. Tell him to stay down, get your guy, get your guy. Because I didn't want to jump in the middle of a police chase and get shot myself. I've got 5 daughters. I need to stay alive for them. But I didn't want this man, regardless of what he did, to die.
The defense asked Butler about his interview with state police, where he stated he didn't think Schurr did anything wrong. But since seeing the video of the shooting, he seems to have changed his mind.
The execution style is what changed it for me.
Fred Hunter couldn't see much of the interaction from his home, just the start of the chase and a struggle until Schurr and Lyoya were in his view. A few minutes later, he heard the shooting.
Then I went back to the window, and then that's when I saw the officer standing over Patrick with a gun.
The last witness called by the prosecution was an Axon investigations engineer who does investigations on tasers and body cameras. He says the taser didn't connect with anyone after being deployed twice, and he testified that there was potential for serious injury or death with the taser.
Especially with a struggle going on and people moving around, the potential is there.
The last 2 witnesses were called by the defense, officials with Michigan State Police. One went through the different points of view of the video of the incident. The final witness of the day testified that multiple items were found in Lyoya's car: bridge cards, IDs, and credit cards that didn't belong to Lyoya.
Relevant to this, Your Honor. Counsel? And so because we have to establish that he's fleeing, I think that we are entitled to ask questions about the motive for filming.
Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker did argue that those final details were speculation, but the judge allowed the defense to proceed with their questioning of the detective who found these items. Again, one more witness is expected to testify tomorrow before final motions and arguments from both the prosecution and the defense, and then a decision from the judge on whether to send this to circuit court is also possible tomorrow. Juliet.
Andrea, thank you. Patrick Lyoya's family, meanwhile, is planning to file a civil lawsuit in federal court. Attorney Tom Wan says the lawsuit's drafted against Schurr and potentially the city of Grand Rapids. Wan says the family was upset to hear the defense question the witnesses on what they say had nothing to do with Patrick's death.
He didn't shoot him because they had a bridge card in the back of the car. He didn't shoot him because he had somebody else's ID in the car. He didn't even shoot him because he was intoxicated. But he didn't shoot him because he was intoxicated. And to bring out all of these things just to kind of muddy the waters with regard to Patrick and make him look bad, to try to justify what happened, that's just wrong.
The family's attorney did not say how much the Lyoya family will ask for in the civil lawsuit.